What up, everybody? Welcome back to another Victory Sunday edition of Cafecito and Canes. When I take a sip of my cafecito, you know what to do. Please hit that like button. That tastes good. Tastes like a win is what it tastes like. So, Rocky, I think he's my first comment, and I think he put the best comment you can make describing this game. I wanted the fireworks, but I will take the W running game showdown. I wanted the fireworks too. Like pretty much every Cane fan out there, I wanted to see the 52-0 rout of FSU. I wanted to see, I wanted to see a complete, just nasty blowout on the scoreboard, on the field, everywhere. But make no mistake, it was still a blowout. It was Miami dominated this game. It was one of those games where the score does not if you didn't watch the game, you just look at the score. You look at the score quarter by quarter, you're going to think, oh, man, FSU was giving them a game, giving them a fight in that first half. Honestly, they really weren't. They really weren't. This game was never in doubt. From the first drive, Miami just punched them in the mouth. They hit them with some quick passes. I think there was a little RPO in there, a little play action. They just moved the ball down the field in, I think it was a 7-play drive, marched right down on them, scored an easy touchdown from the 1-yard line. You knew from there on it was going to be a long night for FSU. But there's two camps right now. There's the camp that I'm in that, it's a rivalry game. Those games are played differently. And I'm overall pretty happy with the victory. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't like completely clean. Some things still need to be worked on. This team and this program is a work in progress still. I think people forget that we're not a finished product yet. It's year 3. It's still a work in progress. So there's people in that camp. Then there's people in the camp that, it's a lot of casual fans, which is fine. Nothing wrong with being a casual fan, saying that we should have put more on them. Why weren't we throwing the ball more? Defense played terrible, which I disagree with. There was a lot of people on both sides, which, it's nice to see that after blowing out your rival by 3 touchdowns, really would have been 4, but that last score was in garbage time and our backups were in. But it's nice to see that a 3-touchdown blowout of our rival, that the game was really never in doubt, is still being criticized by the fans. It shows that the standard has been raised. So that's not a bad thing. But definitely some things need to improve, of course. But overall, I am pretty happy with the win. Not going to lie. One stat that stuck out at me, I was listening to QAM on the way home, and Joe Zagacki said that we only had 8 offensive possessions total for the game. My dad and I looked at each other in the car. I'm like, we're like, that can't be right. 8 possessions. Then we kind of counted in our head like the touchdowns and stuff. And then they went through it on the radio. We had 8 possessions total on offense. 4 touchdowns, 3 field goals, punted only 1 time. That shows how much we dominated on the ground. Herb Street broke FSU. I love that. I love that handle. Blowout rival didn't even need Cam to do it. Yes, agreed. Flo, I will see you tonight for our show, sir. That should be a good one. John didn't get to see you at the tailgate next time. Yeah, you were there. I didn't see you, man. I was there for probably from like 4:30 to like 5:45, 6. I was there for a little bit. But yeah, no, I'll catch you next time. Canes fanatic in SC. Is that Southern California or South Carolina? Wasn't a bloodbath we were all expecting, but still won and covered and stayed ahead. Our run game was a lot better than the first 6 games. We will take the win. Go Canes. Yeah. Remember how much fans were criticizing our running game struggling early in games? I think between last week and this week, that is not a criticism anymore. We can run the football. Damian Martinez, by the way, wow. He looks like a different dude. He looks like the guy that we picked up from Oregon State. He's starting to look like him again. And look, you got to remember, I heard coaches talking about this, and they're right. I don't think he came in the spring. He came in the summer. He came a little later. So it takes time, even for a running back. Playing running back is more complicated than people think, unless you actually played. You could attest to that. That you got to get comfortable with the scheme, the timing. The more comfortable you get, the more decisively you run. And sometimes it's just that fraction of a second that hole is open, and now he's looking more comfortable and settled in and running angrier, which helps. But anyway, before I continue, let's just, there's good and bad that we'll cover, but let me just share my screen really quick and go over some stats with you guys. If it'll let me. Sorry, guys, technical difficulties. I love when this happens on a live show. Okay, here we go. There we go. So look at that. Right there, you can see how much we dominated this game. The stats, although the stats need context in football, I agree. But you look at this right here, this tells a different story altogether from what people are concerned about. It's 445 yards to their 248, 215 to their 115 on passing yards. We ran for 230 on the ground as a team, 5.9 yards per play total. 8 for 14 on third down, 3 for 3 on fourth down. We didn't miss a single fourth down attempt. There was one situation that I thought we should have gone for it on fourth down. I think it was like 4th and 2 and we kicked the field goal, but it's fine. We got the best kicker in the country, so I was cool with it. Time of possession, 35-23 to their 24-37. That's how this game went. There was no reason to take any unnecessary risks. I think the coaching staff realized that as soon as FSU's defense was playing to take the big play away, and their corners did a great job covering our receivers. I'm not going to lie. They have some NFL guys in their secondary. You got to remember that. And it's a rivalry game, so they're going to play us hard. And a lot of these guys, they know each other when they're from high school and stuff, and Pop Warner, so they know each other's tendencies. They know each other well. So it throws a little wrinkle into the game. But the corners did a good job kind of like allowing their pass rush and their blitz to get home a little bit and put a little pressure on Cam. So we had to adjust to that. So once you started to see how this game was going to go, Miami made it a point to just, this game is going to be won in the trenches. It's not going to be fireworks. It's not going to be sexy, but it's going to be us dominating them through the A gaps and the B gaps, just right up the gut. See if you can stop us. And they couldn't stop us. And if they can't stop the run, then why even risk throwing the ball too much? I was fine with it. And playing that way chews a lot of time off the clock. It wears down their defense. And again, you're not going to put 50, 60 points up, but you're going to cruise to a 2 to 3 touchdown win and get the hell out of there with a victory. And with your pride intact. And no injuries, which was great. And again, you break them physically, even though it didn't quite show on the scoreboard. FSU knows they got broken down physically in the trenches. Norvell played not to get blown out and still got blown out. Yeah, with the 2 high safeties. Agreed. How is Clemson thought of so highly? Clemson's got a lot of NFL guys on their defense as well. That's why I thought of so highly. And Klubnik is playing well right now. Are they playing great competition? No. But I think Clemson's still Clemson. I think they got a tough road the rest of the season. They do have to go to Pittsburgh, I think. Or they play Pitt at home, I'm not sure. And they have to play Virginia Tech in Blacksburg. So Clemson has 1 or 2 in there that they could trip up on. And then their final week against South Carolina. South Carolina's no joke. Okay? That's a rivalry. That's the final week of the season. That could be a trap game for them. Miami beats Clemson by 2. I don't know about that. I think on a good day we can catch them. But, things would really have to be clicking. Love the show, brother. I live in the heart of Fsu country, and I'm loving today. Tyler Jarvis living in, I'm guessing you live in Tallahassee. So my condolences, but hey, you can brag a little bit. You can puff your chest out a little bit today. You can wear your Canes gear proudly. The little 3-game losing streak against them is done. Hopefully this starts a little winning streak against, well, not hopefully, it will start a little winning streak against them, because if Mike Norvell stays there, I don't see them turning things around in 1 year. And Miami has stacked 2 elite classes in a row, and they're about to stack another one, because there was like, what, 500,000 recruits at this game? Or something like that, something crazy. I thought there was a limit to how many recruits you can invite to a game. Apparently not. Like Mario was like, F that. I'm bringing everybody to this one. If you were at the game, there was a corner of the stadium where they sit the recruits. I want to say it's the southeast corner of the stadium. It was a big crowd, and you could tell they were into it, as the rest of the crowd was. So hopefully we put on an entertaining show for them, and they like the atmosphere, and hopefully we flipped a couple of guys in the process. I think we did. Time will tell. Mario recruiting from the press conference podium. Yes, he did. I don't know if anybody caught his post-game presser and how he ended it. That he didn't say this in so many words, but he's like, yeah, you see the trajectory we were going? You see the guys we just beat? F that team, come play for me. That's like what he said, basically. Pitt at SMU, big one this week. Yeah, that one undefeated is going to go down. So that's good. See if I've missed any comments here. We're going to go after the North Carolina running back Hampton. He has 1,000 rushing yards already. Does Hampton have years of eligibility left? I mean, I'm sure he does, but I mean, isn't he going to go to the draft after this year? If he doesn't, I mean, yeah, he'd be a good target. I live 30 minutes south of that crap stadium. That is Choke Campbell Stadium. I'm wearing my Canes clothes to work all week, as you should. As you should. Enjoy the win. But as for some of the stats that I just went over, look, 8 for 14 on third down, 3 for 3 on fourth down. Solid. I mean, you can't ask for anything more than that. Even though they were trying to take away a lot of what we usually do through the air, we found another way to win in a dominant way. So that was good. And looking at FSU's third down efficiency, the defense, even though, look, their one scoring drive was, I mean, a lot of people are using the word fluke, and yeah, I agree with it. It was a very fluky QB sneak that the guy stayed on his feet somehow and was able to get like 40 extra yards, got them inside. I mean, they got to the 1 at one point. Even when they got to the 1, it took them 4 tries to get into the end zone. So their one scoring drive was really set up by a fluke. And like I said before, the other touchdown was in garbage time with our backups in. So really, our defense did what they were supposed to do. Did they dominate? No. So one of my negatives was they had chances to get Kromenhoek and Brock Glenn to the ground a little earlier, and they let them sneak out and get some yardage. Our front four has to do a better job getting home, maintaining gap integrity, and not letting the quarterback slip out, because we will face more mobile quarterbacks later. So they got to do a little bit of a better job of that closing in. But they hustled to the ball carrier. They did a better job swarming, not letting those plays become big plays. And overall, 3 for 13 on third downs. I mean, that's as good as it gets on defense. 4 for 7 on fourth down. I mean, FSU was desperate. They went for it on fourth down 7 times. There was that one that they had the guy wide open over the middle of the field, and Kromenhoek just didn't see him. It's a football game. It happens. That's happened to us quite a few times over the years, where you had an open touchdown, the quarterback didn't see him. But we took advantage, got the stops that we needed to get, forced them to 3 punts, stopped them on fourth down 3 different times. That's all you really needed to get this win. But yeah, tackling needs to continue to improve. I will say this, and you got to remember, the defense, don't expect a championship defense this year. They're not there yet. The offense is way ahead of the defense. Special teams needs a little work, but I believe we have the best kicker in the country and one of the best punters in the country. Special teams, I thought, did an excellent job yesterday. Because FSU really comes after that kick. I think they have a couple of blocked field goals this year. One of the things that, those guys don't get enough credit, the guys that are blocking on the field goal team, fans take it for granted, but it's an important thing. And you gotta make sure that field goal gets away cleanly, and they did on all 3 attempts. Those are 3 big field goals at the time. So the special teams did well, but they've had their issues throughout the season. That's a work in progress. D-line, I think we got one of the best D-lines in the country, especially talent-wise. But the secondary needs a lot of work still. Missing Damari Brown, that's a big loss. Tackling needs to continue to improve. But as long as the defense is taking baby steps this season, as long as they're getting a little better every week, I will take it. That's progress. That's development. That's the coaches doing their job. So that's what I saw last night. I saw this defense take baby steps. Were they amazing? No. I'm saying they weren't amazing because it was a bad offense we played. But they did what they were supposed to do. I was watching the secondary a lot of the time. Guys kept their assignments for the most part. They did a better job of that. They were like up on the receiver, much tighter. Passing lanes were a little tighter. Passing windows, it wasn't guys just running wide open. There was that one play that I forgot who it was that batted the ball up in the air, and Jaden Harris came this close to having an interception. That's the thing with football. It's a game, they say it's a game of inches. It's a game of millimeters, really. If that ball's hit a hair differently, Jaden catches it and walks into the end zone for 6. So defense, I would say, did their job, which is really what you can ask for in this game. Biggest glaring negative was the pass protection. It was surprisingly not good. But then you look at who FSU has on the defensive line. They don't know how to stop the run, but they have athletes. They have speed, maybe a couple of guys that might play on Sundays one day. They are really athletic up front. Again, rivalry game. There's a little more juice to it. It's a little different. They were getting to Cam a little bit and flushing him out of the pocket. I thought there was a couple of times Cam could have just checked it down instead of scrambling for 2 hours. But, that's who he is. He's a gunslinger. But he did a good job taking care of the football. I will say that. He kept plays alive, and if it wasn't there, he rolled out and just threw it away. Let's see. Some fans are upset it wasn't a big blowout. By the way, I look at the running game, stood up, and Mario coached a good game. And Cam did what he was supposed to do. He took what FSU D gave him. Yeah, I thought as a team, we took what FSU gave us. Like I said, the way the safeties were playing and the way, they were bringing pressure and all that, you got to kind of get a feel for the game. And I thought the coaches did a great job. Mario did a great job kind of feeling this game out and realizing, this is going to be a trenches slugfest. All right. You want to go? Let's go. Up the gut. However many times we did it, we run for 230. Good luck stopping it. I was happy to see that. But pass protection, the tackling, all that stuff, that needs to be a continued work in progress. Keep working on that. And ultimately, the way you're going to fix that permanently is with elite recruiting and developing to be able to compete with teams of that upper echelon. If you want to just win your 9-10 games every year against the mid-tier teams of the ACC, fine. You got what you need. But this team wants more than that. They want to compete with the Ohio States and the Georgias. One of the ways you do that is you recruit elite secondary talent, DBs, corners, safeties, guys that can run downfield with those NFL receivers and knock the ball down or get their hands on the ball themselves and get interceptions. You got to get more of those guys. I think you got one in Damari. who comes back hopefully this year. I think you got one in Zaquan Patterson. And right now, as far as guys that can play in the NFL one day, I think that's pretty much it for now. And I mean, like at a high level, you got to keep adding to that. Linebackers, same thing. I think we've added a few. Love Adarius Hayes. I really like Popo. Keep adding to that. We got to keep bringing in those waves. And one of the ways you do it is invite the amount of kids you invited to this game and put on a show. Let's see, from Hate Week to Picadillo Week, the Bay of Pigs Bowl's this Saturday. Yeah, it's at. Let me know what you guys think of it being at 12 noon. That was a little weird that it was so early. I thought it would be like a 3:30 game at least. John, what effect do you think victory has on Miami's recruiting? I mean, we invited a lot of recruits last year, the last time we wore the blackout jerseys against Georgia Tech. We know what happened that night. And guess what? You still didn't really lose anybody. We still had a number 3 recruiting class in the country. So imagine you bring even more kids. The atmosphere is even better because it's sold out. And you get a dominant win. Yeah, it could only take off from here. It has to. A handful of kids had to have been thinking that maybe we're committed to other schools or thinking like another school was their top school. And maybe Miami was like in their top 5, top 3, but they weren't really thinking Miami yet. Now they got to be changing their minds. Now they got to be having second thoughts of where they're going. 500 more subs to go on. Let's help them get there. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Is it 500? Hang on. No, it's actually 150. I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, no, only need 149 more to go to get to 3,000. So yes, please hit that subscribe button. Hey, if 500 want to subscribe, hey, even better. I'll take it. Too many better options for night. Sucks to be against Penn. Oh, Ohio State and Penn State is at noon. Yeah, I guess I don't know who plays at night next week. But yeah, okay, even better. Yeah. No, but please, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do so. I know most people viewing this video aren't subscribed. That's just the stats. That's how it is on YouTube. But please, it takes a half second. That little button that says subscribe, just hit it. Costs you nothing. All it does is your phone will alert you anytime I drop a video or anytime I go live. They have Louisville and Clemson at night. Ooh, okay. All right, go Louisville. I like the noon kicks, especially when we're home. If Duke wouldn't have pulled that out Wednesday. If Duke wouldn't have pulled it out Wednesday, they would have had 7 p.m. ACC slot. Yeah. Yeah, for those who missed it, Duke went for 2 in overtime against SMU. Ballsy call. I'll give Manny Diaz credit there for having the stones to do that, but they didn't get it, so they lost. Maybe the football gods have forgiven Miami. I keep thinking that all year, man, because it's like we're doing well. A lot of the teams I hate are not doing as well, whereas like the last 20 years, it's been like the complete opposite. That Miami was down, and then 5 or 6 teams that I don't like, we're all doing well, like every single one of them. So it's nice for it to like revert back to what I grew up watching and the way it was in the 80s and 90s. We'd have taken. Okay, now that sentence makes sense. Thank you, Rocky. Mo, good seeing you at the tailgate, sir. Smash that like button. 8-0 Kane. Go Canes. Good seeing you, John. Was the only time I was rooting for Manny. I was rooting hard. For them. But, dude, Duke took the ball away on 2 consecutive possessions, well within field goal range. To take the lead late in the game, they couldn't take the lead. So, I don't know, man. Our defense better really step it up against Duke because I don't think their offense is very good. Their defense is solid. I think they're going to try to get after us. So Shannon Dawson has to draw up a good game plan, and we have to execute. And I know Cam, as competitive as he is, he's going to want to, because he knows he'll tell you he didn't play his best game last night. He wasn't super sharp. There was a couple throws down the field that he could have had that he missed. There was a couple of throws to Horton. I think it was consecutive plays, actually. Horton had a big first down end of the first half that he just rifled it in there. But Horton had to go up and get it. He almost airmailed that ball. Then later on a quick slant or a quick little curl route that he just swung it to him, also he had to jump up to get it. Like, you got to be careful not airmailing those. So he was a little off. He wasn't at his absolute best, but it didn't matter. But he's going to come out. He's going to come out wanting to prove something in the next game. Hey, John, I need a new cap. Where did you get yours? I like the bigger U on the cap. So I got this one it's called the Hurricane Team Store. They just opened it like in the last year. It's a new store. It's not on campus. It's not All Canes or the bookstore, any of those. It's on the other side of US 1. You drive down, like if you're driving to the Gables, it's like in the Gables, South Miami area, past like where Sunset Place is. And it's called Hurricanes Team Store, I think is what it's called, or HTS. If you Google it, you'll find it. But it's right there, like in South Miami, Coral Gables. You can see it from US 1. But yeah, that's where I got this one. Ahmed Aiden over. Let's see. We didn't have any haymakers, but definitely good jabs throughout. Yeah, we wore them down. It was one of those, if you're a fight fan like me, it was one of those like a 12-round unanimous decision where, like Floyd Mayweather back in the day, where he didn't destroy people, he didn't knock people out in the third round or anything. He just wore people down. He just bobbed and weaved. He jabbed you to death. You couldn't get a clean shot on him, and he won, like 8 rounds to 4 and just won a unanimous decision. That's what last night felt like, pretty much. Still defeated. Manny Diaz just run counter. Even still, this year's team have exposed Duke's D with it. Hey, that's good. It's going to be the same game like FSU, but Duke makes you turn it over. Cam has to take what they give him. I agree. Because if I remember the way Manny Diaz coached our defense, they're very opportunistic. They love to take the ball away. Cam, just like he was in this game, he's got to be careful. We got to not give the ball away. Take care of the football. You'll be fine. But pass protection needs to improve. We got to do a better job picking up blitzes, because there were times early in the game where I was yelling, here comes the blitz, because they got like 6 or 7 guys on the line of scrimmage, and they just didn't do a good job picking it up early. But I hope Dawson has done a great job this year, so I have no doubt he's going to see it, and he's going to adjust to it during the week. FSU in year 5, $10 million per year coach, recruiting ranking 32, 1-7 record. Yep. Oh, nice, because I know near the camp. I know. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's pretty close to there. Let's see if I missed any good comments. Mo, I got yours. Thank you for the dono, by the way. Only ones worried about a 12 p.m. start are the drunks. Boys are going to have to start drinking by 7 a.m. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind an occasional noon start. While I love big games at night, it's fun, but it's I don't know, it's nerve-wracking that whole day. Sometimes I like getting it over with at noon or 12 or 3:30. The heat, that sun will be on our side, hopefully. It's probably going to be a warmer day, although it's not that insulting summer heat that we've had, up until like early October. It'll probably be a little bit cooler. It'll be a nice day, but Duke isn't they're not used to playing down here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get into a good rhythm running the ball on them, that we just kind of stick with that. Cam takes what he gives them, what they give him, and we cruise again to like a 2 touchdown, 3 touchdown win. I don't know. Let me check I don't know if the spread for next week's game has come out. Let's see. Let's take a quick look at the old Hard Rock Bet app. And if anyone has seen it, please let me know in the comments. Let's see, Miami. Oh, here we go. Miami is a 20.5-point favorite. Wow. Minus 1,200 on the betting line, on the money line. Wow. I didn't think we'd be that big of a favorite. Okay. All right. Look, Vegas tends to know what they're doing because they had us at a 21.5-point favorite against FSU. We won by 22. They sometimes are way off. Occasionally they're way off. But they tend to know what they're doing. Florida State becomes the first team in 70 years to lose 7 games after an undefeated season the year before. The year before after losing to Miami, yes. And they don't go to a bowl game, so that's cool. Look, their fall from grace has been insane. Honestly, if they fell to 9-3, I would have been happy. That's what I was expecting. I thought they were going to go like 9-3. Didn't expect this at all. Then again, I didn't expect DJU to be as much of a bust as he was. He just did not click with that offense at all. It's everything that could have gone wrong for FSU has gone wrong. Taking revenge from 2022, Duke is done. So yeah, I think I'll end it there. But thank you guys for coming on and supporting. As always, appreciate it. Again, please hit the like button. As I forgot who it was that said it. Skull Leader. Yes. Thank you again. As he said, I'm only a handful of subs away from 3,000. If you can help me get there, that would be much appreciated. Hit the like button. That always helps. Share the video with a buddy of yours. That also helps. Comment, all that stuff. I try to read the comments and respond to some of them when I can. So I always appreciate it. I appreciate the support. Miami's 8-0. Big win against FSU. The fans showed out. That was great to see. Now we're in the home stretch. 4 games to go, November. This is where it really matters. So let's get the win against Duke next week. Again, we are undefeated. Go Canes. Absolutely. Triple cafecito this week in honor of the Manny Bowl. Yes, sir. I'm going to go finish my cafecito. So you know what to do. Throw those U's up. As always, go Canes. Have a good night. Have a good rest of your Sunday, everybody.